Vaikra, Leviticus chapter 1. And Yahweh called unto Moshe, and spoke unto him out of the tabernacle of the assembly, saying,
Speak unto the children of Yasharel, and say unto them, If any man of you bring an offering unto Yahweh, ye shall bring your offering of the cattle, even of the herd and of the flock. If his offering be a burnt sacrifice of the herd, let him offer a male without blemish. He shall offer it of his own voluntary will, at the door of the tabernacle of the assembly before Yahweh. And he shall put his hand upon the head of the burnt offering, and it shall be accepted for him to make an atonement for him. And he shall kill the bullock before Yahweh, and the priests, Aharon's sons, shall bring the blood, and sprinkle the blood round about upon the altar that is by the door of the tabernacle of the assembly. And he shall flay the burnt offering, and cut it into his pieces. And the sons of Aharon the priest shall put fire upon the altar, and lay the wood in order upon the fire. And the priests, Aharon's sons, shall lay the parts, the head, the fat, in order upon the wood that is on the fire, which is upon the altar. But his inwards and his legs shall he wash in water, and the priest shall burn all on the altar, to be a burnt sacrifice, an offering made by fire, of sweet savor unto Yahweh. And if his offering be of the flocks, namely of the sheep, or of the goats, for a burnt sacrifice, he shall bring it a male without blemish. And he shall kill it on the side of the altar northward, before Yahweh and the priests. Aharon's sons shall sprinkle his blood round about upon the altar. And he shall cut it into his pieces, with his head and his fat, and the priest shall lay them in order on the wood that is on the fire, which is upon the altar. But he shall wash the inwards of the legs with water, and the priest shall bring it all, and burn it upon the altar. It is a burnt sacrifice, an offering made by fire, of sweet savor unto Yahweh. And if the burnt sacrifice for his offering to Yahweh be of fowls, then he shall bring his offering of turtle doves, or of young pigeons. And the priest shall bring it unto the altar, and wring off his head, and burn it on the altar. And the blood thereof shall be wrung out at the side of the altar. And he shall pluck away his crop with his feathers, and cast it beside the altar on the east part, by the place of the ashes. And he shall cleave it with the wings thereof, but shall not divide it asunder. And the priest shall burn it upon the altar, upon the wood that is upon the fire. It is a burnt sacrifice, an offering made by fire, of sweet savor unto Yahweh.
Vaikra, Leviticus chapter 2.
And when any will offer a meat offering unto Yahweh, his offering shall be of fine flour, and he shall pour oil upon it, and put frankincense thereon. And he shall bring it to Aharon's sons, the priests, and he shall take thereout his handful of the flour thereof, and of the oil thereof, with all the frankincense thereof. And the priest shall burn the memorial of it upon the altar, to be an offering made by fire, of a sweet savor unto Yahweh. And the remnant of the meat offering shall be Aharon's and his sons. It is a thing most holy of the offerings of Yahweh made by fire. And if you bring an oblation of meat offering, baken in the oven, it shall be matzah cakes of fine flour, mingled with oil, or matzah wafers anointed with oil. And if your oblation be a meat offering, baken in a pan, it shall be of fine flour, unleavened, mingled with oil. You shall part it in pieces, and pour oil thereon. It is a meat offering. And if your oblation be a meat offering, baken in the frying pan, it shall be made of fine flour with oil. And you shall bring the meat offering that is made of these things unto Yahweh. And when it is presented unto the priest, he shall bring it unto the altar. And the priest shall take from the meat offering a memorial thereof, and shall burn it upon the altar. It is an offering made by fire, of sweet savor unto Yahweh. And that which is left of the meat offering shall be Aharon's and his sons. It is a thing most holy of the offerings of Yahweh made by fire. No meat offering which ye shall bring unto Yahweh shall be made with leaven, for ye shall burn no leaven, nor any honey, in any offering of Yahweh made by fire. As for the oblation of the firstfruits, ye shall offer them unto Yahweh, but they shall not be burnt on the altar for a sweet savor. And every oblation of your meat offering shall ye season with salt, neither shall ye suffer the salt of the covenant of your Elohim to be lacking from your meat offering. And all your offerings you shall offer salt. And if you offer a meat offering of your firstfruits unto Yahweh, you shall offer the meat offering of your firstfruits, green ears of grain dried by the fire, even grain beaten out of full ears. And you shall put oil upon it, and lay frankincense thereon. It is a meat offering. And the priest shall burn the memorial of it, part of the beaten grain thereof, and part of the oil thereof, with all the frankincense thereof. It is an offering made by fire unto Yahweh.
Vayikra, Leviticus chapter 3.
And if his oblation be a sacrifice of peace offering, if he offer it of the herd, whether it be a male or a female, he shall offer it without blemish before Yahweh. And he shall lay his hand upon the head of his offering, and kill it at the door of the tabernacle of the assembly. And Aharon's sons, the priests, shall sprinkle the blood upon the altar round about. And he shall offer of the sacrifice of the peace offering an offering made by fire unto Yahweh, the fat that covers the inwards, and all the fat that is upon the inwards, and the 2 kidneys, and the fat that is on them, which is by the flanks, and the caul above the liver, with the kidneys, it shall he take away. And Aharon's sons shall burn it on the altar upon the burnt sacrifice, which is upon the wood that is on the fire. It is an offering made by fire, of sweet savor unto Yahweh. And if his offering for a sacrifice of peace offering unto Yahweh be of the flock, male or female, he shall offer it without blemish. If he offer a lamb for his offering, then shall he offer before Yahweh. And he shall lay his hand upon the head of his offering, and kill it before the tabernacle of the assembly. And Aharon's sons shall sprinkle the blood thereof round about upon the altar. And he shall offer of the sacrifice of the peace offering an offering made by fire unto Yahweh, the fat thereof, and the whole rump. It shall he take off hard by the backbone, and the fat that covers the inwards, and all the fat that is upon the inwards, and the 2 kidneys, and the fat that is upon them, which is by the flanks, and the caul above the liver, and the kidneys, it shall he take away. And the priest shall burn it upon the altar. It is the food of the offering made by fire unto Yahweh. And if his offering be a goat, then he shall offer it before Yahweh. And he shall lay his hand upon the head of it, and kill it before the tabernacle of the assembly. And the sons of Aharon shall sprinkle the blood thereof upon the altar round about. And he shall offer thereof his offering, even an offering made by fire unto Yahweh, the fat that covers the inwards, and all the fat that is upon the inwards, and the 2 kidneys, and the fat that is upon them, which is by the flanks, and the caul above the liver, with the kidneys, it shall he take away. And the priest shall burn them upon the altar. It is the food of the offering, made by fire for a sweet savor. All the fat is Yahweh's. It shall be a perpetual statute for your generations throughout all your dwellings, that ye eat neither fat nor blood.
Vayikra, Leviticus chapter 4. And Yahweh spoke unto Moshe, saying,
Speak unto the children of Yasharel, saying, If a soul shall sin through ignorance against any of the commandments of Yahweh concerning things which ought not to be done, and shall do against any of them, if the priest that is anointed do sin according to the sin of the people, then let him bring for his sin, which he has sinned, a young bullock, without blemish unto Yahweh, for a sin offering. And he shall bring the bullock unto the door of the tabernacle of the assembly before Yahweh, and shall lay his hands upon the bullock's head, and kill the bullock before Yahweh. And the priest that is anointed shall take of the bullock's blood, and bring it to the tabernacle of the assembly. And the priest shall dip his finger in the blood, and sprinkle of the blood 7 times before Yahweh, before the veil of the sanctuary. And the priest shall put some of the blood upon the horns of the altar of sweet incense before Yahweh, which is in the tabernacle of the assembly, and shall pour all the blood of the bullock at the bottom of the altar of the burnt offering, which is at the door of the tabernacle of the assembly. And he shall take off from it all the fat of the bullock for the sin offering, the fat that covers the inwards, and all the fat that is upon the inwards, and the 2 kidneys, and the fat that is upon them, which is by the flanks, and the caul above the liver, with the kidneys it shall he take away. As it was taken off from the bullock of the sacrifice of peace offerings, and the priest shall burn them upon the altar of the burnt offering. And the skin of the bullock, and all his flesh, with his head, and with his legs, and his inwards, and his dung, even the whole bullock shall he carry forth without the camp, unto a clean place, where the ashes are poured out, and burn him on the wood with fire. Where the ashes are poured out shall he be burnt. And if the whole assembly of Yasharel sin through ignorance, and the thing be hid from the eyes of the assembly, and they have done somewhat against any of the commandments of Yahweh, concerning things which should not be done, and are guilty, when the sin which they have sinned against it is known, then the assembly shall offer a young bullock for the sin, and bring him before the tabernacle of the assembly. And the elders of the assembly shall lay their hands upon the head of the bullock before Yahweh, and the bullock shall be killed before Yahweh. And the priest that is anointed shall bring of the bullock's blood to the tabernacle of the assembly. And the priest shall dip his finger in some of the blood, and sprinkle it 7 times before Yahweh, even before the veil. And he shall put some of the blood upon the horns of the altar, which is set before Yahweh, that is in the tabernacle of the assembly, and shall pour out all the blood at the bottom of the altar of the burnt offering, which is at the door of the tabernacle of the assembly. And he shall take all his fat from him, and burn it upon the altar. And he shall do with the bullock as he did with the bullock for a sin offering, so shall he do with this. And the priest shall make an atonement for them, and it shall be forgiven them. And he shall carry forth the bullock without the camp, and burn him as he burned the first bullock. It is a sin offering for the assembly. When a ruler has sinned, and done somewhat through ignorance against any of the commandments of Yahweh, Elohim, concerning things which should not be done, and is guilty, or if his sin, wherein he has sinned, come to his knowledge, he shall bring his offering, a kid of the goats, a male without blemish, and he shall lay his hand upon the head of the goats, and kill it in the place where they killed the burnt offering, before Yahweh. It is a sin offering. And the priest shall take of the blood of the sin offering with his finger, and put it upon the horns of the altar of burnt offering, and shall pour out his blood at the bottom of the altar of burnt offering. And he shall burn all his fat upon the altar, as the fat of the sacrifice of peace offerings. And the priest shall make an atonement for him, as concerning his sin, and it shall be forgiven him. And if any one of the common people sin through ignorance, which he does somewhat against any of the commandments of Yahweh, concerning things which ought not to be done, and be guilty, or if his sin, which he has sinned, come to his knowledge, then he shall bring his offering, a kid of the goats, a female without blemish, for his sin which he has sinned. And he shall lay his hand upon the head of the sin offering, and slay the sin offering in the place of the burnt offering. And the priest shall take of the blood thereof with his finger, and put it upon the horns of the altar of burnt offering, and shall pour out all the blood thereof at the bottom of the altar. And he shall take away all the fat thereof, as the fat is taken away from off the sacrifice of peace offerings. And the priest shall burn it upon the altar for a sweet savor unto Yahweh. And the priest shall make an atonement for him, and it shall be forgiven him. And if he bring a lamb for a sin offering, he shall bring it a female without blemish. And he shall lay his hand upon the head of the sin offering, and slay it for the sin offering in the place where they killed the burnt offering. And the priest shall take of the blood of the sin offering with his finger, and put it upon the horns of the altar of burnt offering, and shall pour out all the blood thereof at the bottom of the altar. And he shall take away all the fat thereof, as the fat of the lamb is taken away from the sacrifice of the peace offering. And the priest shall burn them upon the altar, according to the offering made by fire unto Yahweh. And the priest shall make an atonement for his sin that he has committed, and it shall be forgiven him.
Vayikra, Leviticus chapter 5.
And if a soul sin, and hear the voice of swearing, and is a witness, whether he has seen or known of it, if he do not utter it, then he shall bear his iniquity. Or if a soul touch any unclean thing, whether it be a carcass of an unclean beast, or a carcass of unclean cattle, or the carcass of unclean creeping things, and if it be hidden from him, he also shall be unclean and guilty. Or if he touch the uncleanness of man, whatsoever uncleanness it be, that a man shall be defiled withal, and it be hid from him, when he knows of it, then he shall be guilty. Or if a soul swear, pronouncing with his lips to do evil, or to do good, whatsoever it be that a man shall pronounce with an oath, and it be hid from him, when he knows of it, then he shall be guilty in one of these. And it shall be, when he shall be guilty in one of these things, that he shall confess that he has sinned in that thing. And he shall bring his trespass offering unto Yahweh, for his sin which he has sinned, a female from the flock, a lamb or a kid of the goats, for a sin offering, and the priest shall make an atonement for him concerning his sin. And if he is not able to bring a lamb, then he shall bring for his trespass which he has committed 2 turtle doves, or 2 young pigeons unto Yahweh, one for a sin offering, and the other for a burnt offering. And he shall bring them unto the priest, who shall offer that which is for the sin offering first, and wring off his head from his neck, but shall not divide it asunder. And he shall sprinkle of the blood of the sin offering upon the side of the altar, and the rest of the blood shall be wrung out at the bottom of the altar. It is a sin offering. And he shall offer the second for a burnt offering, according to the manner, and the priest shall make an atonement for him, for his sin which he has sinned, and it shall be forgiven him. But if he be not able to bring 2 turtle doves, or 2 young pigeons, then he that sinned shall bring for his offering the 10th part of an ephah of fine flour for a sin offering. He shall put no oil upon it, neither shall he put any frankincense thereon, for it is a sin offering. Then shall he bring it to the priest, and the priest shall take his handful of it, even a memorial thereof, and burn it on the altar, according to the offerings made by fire unto Yahweh. It is a sin offering. And the priest shall make an atonement for him, as touching his sin, that he has sinned in one of these, and it shall be forgiven him, and the remnant shall be the priest's, as a meat offering.
And Yahweh spoke unto Moshe, saying,
If a soul commit a trespass, and sin through ignorance, in the holy things of Yahweh, then he shall bring for his trespass unto Yahweh a ram without blemish, out of the flocks, with your estimation by shekels of silver, after the shekel of the sanctuary, for a trespass offering. And he shall make the amends for the harm that he has done in the holy thing, and shall add the 5th part thereto, and give it unto the priest, and the priest shall make an atonement for him with the ram of the trespass offering, and it shall be forgiven him. And if a soul sin, and commit any of these things which are forbidden to be done by the commandment of Yahweh, though he knew it not, yet is he guilty, and shall bear his iniquity. And he shall bring a ram without blemish out of the flock, with your estimation, for a trespass offering, unto the priest. And the priest shall make an atonement for him concerning his ignorance, wherein he erred, and knew it not, and it shall be forgiven him. It is a trespass offering. He has certainly trespassed against Yahweh.
Vayikra, Leviticus chapter 6. And Yahweh spoke unto Moshe, saying,
If a soul sin, and commit a transgression against Yahweh, and lie unto his neighbor, in that which was delivered him to keep, or in fellowship, or in a thing taken away by violence, or has deceived his neighbor, or have found that which was lost, and lies concerning it, and swears falsely, in any of these that a man does, sinning therein, then it shall be, because he has sinned and is guilty, that he shall restore that which he took violently away, or the thing which he has deceitfully gotten, or that which was delivered him to keep, or the lost thing which he found, or all that which he has sworn falsely, he shall even restore it in the principal, and shall add the 5th part more thereto, and give it unto him to whom it appertains. in the day of his trespass offering. And he shall bring his trespass offering unto Yahweh, a ram without blemish out of the flock, with your estimation for a trespass offering unto the priest. And the priest shall make an atonement for him before Yahweh, and it shall be forgiven him for anything of all that he has done in trespass therein.
And Yahweh spoke unto Moshe, saying,
Command Aaron and his sons, saying, This is the Torah of the burnt offering. It is the burnt offering because of the burning upon the altar all night unto the morning, and the fire of the altar shall be burning in it. And the priest shall put on his linen garment, and his linen breeches shall he put upon his flesh, and take up the ashes which the fire has consumed with the burnt offering on the altar, and he shall put them beside the altar. And he shall put off his garments, and put on other garments, and carry forth the ashes without the camp unto a clean place. And the fire upon the altar shall be burning in it. It shall not be put out. And the priest shall burn wood on it every morning, and lay the burnt offering in order upon it, and he shall burn thereon the fat of the peace offerings. The fire shall ever be burning upon the altar. It shall never go out. And this is the Torah of the meat offering. The sons of Aharon shall offer it before Yahweh, before the altar. And he shall take of it his handful of the flour of the meat offering, and of the oil thereof, and all the frankincense which is upon the meat offering, and shall burn it upon the altar for a sweet savor, even the memorial of it unto Yahweh. And the remainder thereof shall Aharon and his sons eat, with matzah, unleavened bread, shall it be eaten in the holy place, in the court of the tabernacle of the assembly, they shall eat it. It shall not be baken with leaven. I have given it unto them for their portion of my offering made by fire. It is most holy, as is the sin offering, and as the trespass offering. All the males among the children of Aharon shall eat of it. It shall be a statute forever in your generations, concerning the offerings of Yahweh made by fire. Everyone that touches them shall be holy.
And Yahweh spoke unto Moshe, saying,
This is the offering of Aharon and his sons, which they shall offer unto Yahweh in the day when he is anointed. The 10th part of an ephah of fine flour for a meat offering perpetual, half of it in the morning, and half thereof at night. In a pan it shall be made with oil, and when it is baken, you shall bring it in, and the baken pieces of the meat offering shall you offer for a sweet savor unto Yahweh. And the priest of his sons that is anointed in his stead shall offer it. It is a statute forever unto Yahweh. It shall be wholly burnt. For every meat offering for the priest shall be wholly burnt. It shall not be eaten.
And Yahweh spoke unto Moshe, saying,
Speak unto Aharon and to his sons, saying, This is the Torah of the sin offering. In the place where the burnt offering is killed, shall the sin offering be killed before Yahweh. It is most holy. The priest that offers it for sin shall eat it. In the holy place shall it be eaten, in the court of the tabernacle of the assembly. Whatsoever shall touch the flesh thereof shall be holy. And when there is sprinkled of the blood thereof upon any garment, you shall wash that whereon it was sprinkled in the holy place. But the earthen vessel wherein it was sodden shall be broken. And if it be sodden in a brazen pot, it shall be both scoured and rinsed in water. All the males among the priests shall eat thereof. It is most holy. And no sin offering, whereof any of the blood is brought into the tabernacle of the assembly, to reconcile withal in the holy place, shall be eaten. It shall be burnt in the fire.
Vayikra, Leviticus chapter 7.
Likewise, this is the Torah of the trespass offering. It is most holy. In the place where they kill the burnt offering, shall they kill the trespass offering, and the blood thereof shall he sprinkle round about upon the altar. And he shall offer it of all the fat thereof, the rump, the fat that covers the inwards, and the 2 kidneys, and the fat that is on them, which is by the flanks, and the caul that is above the liver, with the kidneys it shall he take away. And the priest shall burn them upon the altar for an offering made by fire unto Yahweh. It is a trespass offering. Every male among the priests shall eat thereof. It shall be eaten in the holy place. It is most holy. As the sin offering is, so is the trespass offering. There is one Torah for them. The priest that makes atonement therewith shall have it. And the priest that offers any man's burnt offering, even the priest shall have to himself the skin of the burnt offering which he has offered. And all the meat offering that is baken in the oven, and all that is dressed in the frying pan, and in the pan, shall be the priest's that offer it. And every meat offering mingled with oil, and dry, shall all the sons of Aharon have, one as much as another. And this is the Torah of the sacrifice of peace offerings, which he shall offer unto Yahweh. If he offer it for thanksgiving, then he shall offer with the sacrifice of thanksgiving matzah, unleavened cakes, mingled with oil, and matzah wafers, anointed with oil, and cakes mingled with oil, of fine flour, fried. Besides the cakes, he shall offer for his offering hametz, leavened bread, with the sacrifice of thanksgiving of his peace offerings. And of it he shall offer one out of the whole oblation, for a heave offering unto Yahweh, and it shall be the priest that sprinkles the blood of the peace offerings. And the flesh of the sacrifice of his peace offerings for thanksgiving shall be eaten the same day that it is offered. He shall not leave any of it until the morning. But if the sacrifice of his offering be a vow, or a voluntary offering, it shall be eaten the same day that he offers his sacrifice. On the morrow also the remainder of it shall be eaten. But the remainder of the flesh of the sacrifice on the third day shall be burnt with fire. And if any of the flesh of the sacrifice of his peace offerings be eaten at all on the third day, it shall not be accepted, neither shall it be imputed unto him that offers it. It shall be an abomination, and the soul that eats of it shall bear his iniquity. And the flesh that touches any unclean thing shall not be eaten. It shall be burnt with fire. And as for the flesh, all that be clean shall eat thereof. But the soul that eats of the flesh of the sacrifice of peace offerings that pertain unto Yahweh, having his uncleanness upon him, even that soul shall be cut off from his people. Moreover, the soul that shall touch any unclean thing, as the uncleanness of man, or any unclean beast, or any abominable unclean thing, and eat of the flesh of the sacrifice of peace offerings, which pertain unto Yahweh, even that soul shall be cut off from his people.
And Yahweh spoke unto Moshe, saying,
Speak unto the children of Yasharel, saying, Ye shall eat no manner of fat, of ox, or of sheep, or of goat, and the fat of the beast that dies of itself, and the fat of that which is torn with beast, may be used in any other use, but ye shall in no wise eat of it. For whosoever eats the fat of the beast, of which men offer an offering made by fire unto Yahweh, even the soul that eats it shall be cut off from his people. Moreover, ye shall eat no manner of blood, whether it be of fowl or of beast, in any of your dwellings. Whatsoever soul it be that eats any manner of blood, even that soul shall be cut off from his people.
And Yahweh spoke unto Moshe, saying,
Speak unto the children of Yasharel, saying, He that offers the sacrifice of his peace offerings unto Yahweh shall bring his oblation unto Yahweh of the sacrifice of his peace offerings. His own hand shall bring the offerings of Yahweh made by fire. The fat with the breast it shall he bring, that the breast may be waved for a wave offering before Yahweh. And the priest shall burn the fat upon the altar, but the breast shall be Aharon's and his sons'. And the right shoulder shall ye give unto the priest for a heave offering of the sacrifices of your peace offerings. He among the sons of Aharon that offers the blood of the peace offerings and the fat shall have the right shoulder for his part. For the wave breast and the heave shoulder have I taken of the children of Yasharel from off the sacrifices of their peace offerings, and have given them unto Aharon the priest, and unto his sons by a statute forever, from among the children of Yasharel.
This is the portion of the anointing of Aharon, and of the anointing of his sons, out of the offerings of Yahweh made by fire, in the day when he presented them to minister unto Yahweh in the priest's office, which Yahweh commanded to be given them of the children of Yasharel, in the day that he anointed them, by a statute forever throughout their generations. This is the Torah of the burnt offering, of the meat offering, and of the sin offering, and of the trespass offering, and of the consecrations, and of the sacrifice of the peace offerings, which Yahweh commanded Moshe in Mount Sinai, in the day that he commanded the children of Yisrael to offer their oblations unto Yahweh in the wilderness of Sinai. Vayikra, Leviticus chapter 8. And Yahweh spoke unto Moshe, saying,
Take Aharon and his sons with him, and the garments, and the anointing oil, and a bullock for the sin offering, and 2 rams, and a basket of matzah, unleavened bread, and gather all the assembly together unto the door of the tabernacle of the assembly.
And Moshe did as Yahweh commanded him, and the assembly was gathered together unto the door of the tabernacle of the assembly. And Moshe said unto the assembly, This is the thing which Yahweh commanded to be done. And Moshe brought Aharon and his sons, and washed them in water. And he put upon him the coat, and girded him with the belt, and clothed him with the robe, and put the ephod upon him. And he girded him with the belt of the ephod, and bound it unto him therewith. And he put the breastplate upon him. Also he put in the breastplate the Urim and the Tumim. And he put the turban upon his head. Also upon the turban, even upon his forefront, did he put the golden plate, the holy crown, as Yahweh commanded Moshe. And Moshe took the anointing oil, and anointed the tabernacle, and all that was therein, and sanctified them. And he sprinkled thereof upon the altar 7 times, and anointed the altar and all his vessels, both the laver and his foot, to sanctify them. And he poured of the anointing oil upon Aharon's head, and anointed him, to sanctify him. And Moshe brought Aharon's sons, and put coats upon them, and girded them with belts, and put bonnets upon them, as Yahweh commanded Moshe. And he brought the bullock for the sin offering, and Aharon and his sons laid their hands upon the head of the bullock for the sin offering, and he slew it. And Moshe took the blood, and put it upon the horns of the altar round about with his finger, and purified the altar, and poured the blood at the bottom of the altar, and sanctified it, to make reconciliation upon it. And he took all the fat that was upon the inwards, and the caul above the liver, and the 2 kidneys, and their fat, and Moshe burned it upon the altar. But the bullock, and his hide, and his flesh, and his dung, he burnt with fire without the camp, as Yahweh commanded Moshe. And he brought the ram for the burnt offering, and Aharon and his sons laid their hands upon the head of the ram, and he killed it. And Moshe sprinkled the blood upon the altar round about. And he cut the ram into pieces, and Moshe burnt the head, and the pieces, and the fat. And he washed the inwards and the legs in water, and Moshe burnt the whole ram upon the altar. It was a burnt sacrifice for a sweet savor, and an offering made by fire unto Yahweh, as Yahweh commanded Moshe. And he brought the other ram, the ram of consecration, and Aharon and his sons laid their hands upon the head of the ram, and he slew it. And Moshe took of the blood of it, and put it upon the tip of Aharon's right ear, and upon the thumb of his right hand, and upon the great toe of his right foot. And he brought Aharon's sons, and Moshe put of the blood upon the tip of their right ear, and upon the thumbs of their right hands, and upon the great toes of their right feet. And Moshe sprinkled the blood upon the altar round about. And he took the fat, and the rump, and the fat that was upon the inwards, and the caul above the liver, and the 2 kidneys, and their fat, and the right shoulder. And out of the basket of matzah that was before Yahweh, he took 1 matzah cake, and a cake of oiled bread, and 1 wafer, and put them on the fat, and upon the right shoulder. And he put all upon Aharon's hands, and upon his sons' hands, and waved them for a wave offering before Yahweh. And Moshe took them from off their hands, and burnt them on the altar upon the burnt offering. They were consecrations for a sweet savor. It is an offering made by fire unto Yahweh. And Moshe took the breast, and waved it for a wave offering before Yahweh. For of the ram of consecration it was Moshe's part, as Yahweh commanded Moshe. And Moshe took of the anointing oil, and of the blood which was upon the altar, and sprinkled it upon Aharon, and his garments, and upon his sons, and upon his sons' garments with him, and sanctified Aharon, and his garments, and his sons' garments with him. And Moshe said unto Aharon and to his sons, Boil the flesh at the door of the tabernacle of the assembly, and there eat it, with the bread that is in the basket of consecrations, as I commanded, saying, Aharon and his sons shall eat it. And that which remains of the flesh and of the bread shall ye burn with fire. And ye shall not go out of the door of the tabernacle of the assembly in 7 days, until the days of your consecration be at an end. For 7 days shall he consecrate you. As he has done this day, so Yahweh has commanded to do, to make an atonement for you. Therefore shall ye abide at the door of the tabernacle of the assembly day and night 7 days, and guard the watch of Yahweh, that ye die not. For so I am commanded. So Aharon and his sons did all the things which Yahweh commanded by the hand of Moshe. Vayikra, Leviticus chapter 9. And it came to pass on the 8th day that Moshe called Aharon and his sons and the elders of Yisrael. And he said unto Aharon, Take a young calf for a sin offering, and a ram for a burnt offering, without blemish, and offer them before Yahweh. And unto the children of Yisrael you shall speak, saying, Take ye a kid of the goats for a sin offering, and a calf and a lamb, both of the first year, without blemish, for a burnt offering. Also a bullock and a ram for peace offerings, to sacrifice before Yahweh, and a meat offering mingled with oil. For today Yahweh will appear unto you. And they brought which Moshe commanded before the tabernacle of the assembly. And all the assembly drew near and stood before Yahweh. And Moshe said, This is the thing which Yahweh commanded that you should do, and the glory of Yahweh shall appear unto you. And Moshe said unto Aharon, Go unto the altar, and offer your sin offering, and your burnt offering, and make an atonement for yourself and for the people, and offer the offering of the people, and make an atonement for them, as Yahweh commanded. Aharon therefore went unto the altar, and slew the calf of the sin offering, which was for himself. And the sons of Aharon brought the blood unto him, and he dipped his finger in the blood, and put it upon the horns of the altar, and poured out the blood at the bottom of the altar. But the fat, and the kidneys, and the caul above the liver of the sin offering he burnt upon the altar, as Yahweh commanded Moshe. And the flesh and the hide he burnt with fire without the camp. And he slew the burnt offering, and Aharon's sons presented unto him the blood, which he sprinkled round about upon the altar. And they presented the burnt offering unto him, with the pieces thereof, and the head, and he burnt them upon the altar. And he did wash the inwards and the legs, and burnt them upon the burnt offering on the altar. And he brought the people's offering, and took the goat, which was the sin offering for the people, and slew it, and offered it for sin as the first. And he brought the burnt offering, and offered it according to the manner. And he brought the meat offering, and took a handful thereof, and burnt it upon the altar, beside the burnt sacrifice of the morning. He slew also the bullock and the ram for a sacrifice of peace offerings, which was for the people. And Aharon's sons presented unto him the blood, which he sprinkled upon the altar round about. And the fat of the bullock and of the ram, the rump, and that which covers the inwards, and the kidneys, and the caul above the liver, and they put the fat upon the breasts, and he burnt the fat upon the altar. And the breasts and the right shoulder Aharon waved for a wave offering before Yahweh, as Moshe commanded. And Aharon lifted up his hand toward the people, and blessed them, and came down from offering of the sin offering, and the burnt offering, and peace offerings. And Moshe and Aharon went into the tabernacle of the assembly, and came out, and blessed the people. And the glory of Yahweh appeared unto all the people. And there came a fire out from before Yahweh, and consumed upon the altar the burnt offering and the fat, which when all the people saw, they shouted and fell on their face. Vayikra, Leviticus chapter 10. And Nadab and Abihu, the sons of Aharon, took either of them his censer, and put fire therein, and put incense thereon, and offered strange fire before Yahweh, which he commanded them not. And there went out fire from Yahweh, and devoured them, and they died before Yahweh. Then Moshe said unto El Aharon, This is that Yahweh spoke, saying, I will be sanctified in them that come nigh me, and before all the people I will be glorified. And Aharon held his peace. And Moshe called Mishael and Elishaphan, the sons of Uzziel, the uncle of Aharon, and said unto them, Come near, carry your brethren from before the sanctuary out of the camp. So they went near, and carried them in their coats out of the camp, as Moshe had said. And Moshe said unto Aharon, and unto Eleazar, and unto Ithamar his sons, Uncover not your heads, neither rend your clothes, lest ye die, and lest the wrath come upon all the people. But let your brethren, the whole house of Yashrael, bewail the burning which Yahweh has kindled. And ye shall not go out from the door of the tabernacle of the assembly, lest ye die. For the anointing oil of Yahweh is upon you. And they did according to the word of Moshe. And Yahweh spoke unto Aharon, saying,
Do not drink wine, nor strong drink, you nor your sons with you, when ye go into the tabernacle of the assembly, lest ye die. It shall be a statute forever throughout your generations, and that ye may put difference between holy and unholy, and between unclean and clean, and that ye may teach the children of Yasharel all the statutes which Yahweh has spoken unto them by the hand of Moshe.
And Moshe spoke unto Aharon, and unto Eleazar, and unto Ithamar, his sons that were left, Take the meat offering that remains of the offerings of Yahweh made by fire, and eat it without leaven beside the altar, for it is most holy. And ye shall eat it in the holy place, because it is your due, and your sons' due, of the sacrifices of Yahweh made by fire. For so I am commanded. And the wave breast and the heave shoulder shall ye eat in a clean place, you and your sons and your daughters with you, for they be your due, and your sons' due, which are given out of the sacrifices of peace offerings of the children of Yashrael. The heave shoulder and the wave breast shall they bring with the offerings made by fire of the fat, to wave it for a wave offering before Yahweh. And it shall be yours, and your sons with you, by a statute forever, as Yahweh has commanded. And Moshe diligently sought the goat of the sin offering, and behold, it was burnt. And he was angry with Eleazar and Ithamar, the sons of Aharon, which were left alive, saying, Wherefore have ye not eaten the sin offering in the holy place, seeing it is most holy? And Elohim has given it to you to bear the iniquity of the assembly, to make an atonement for them before Yahweh? Behold, the blood of it was not brought in within the holy place. Ye should indeed have eaten it in the holy place, as I commanded. And Aharon said unto Moshe,
Behold, this day have they offered their sin offering and their burnt offering before Yahweh, and such things have befallen me. And if I had eaten the sin offering today, should it have been accepted in the sight of Yahweh?
And when Moshe heard that, he was content. Vayikra, Leviticus chapter 11. And Yahweh spoke unto Moshe, and to Aharon, saying unto them,
Speak unto the children of Yasharel, saying, These are the beasts which ye shall eat among all the beasts that are on the earth. Whatsoever parts the hoof, and is cloven-footed, and chews the cud, among the beasts, that shall ye eat. Nevertheless, these shall ye not eat of them that chew the cud, or of them that divide the hoof. As the camel, because he chews the cud, but divides not the hoof, he is unclean unto you. And the coney, because he chews the cud, but divides not the hoof, he is unclean unto you. And the hare, because he chews the cud, but divides not the hoof, he is unclean unto you. And the swine, though he divide the hoof, and be cloven-footed, yet he chews not the cud, he is unclean to you. Of their flesh shall ye not eat, and their carcass shall ye not touch, they are unclean to you. These shall ye eat of all that are in the waters. Whatsoever has fins and scales in the waters, in the seas, and in the rivers, them shall you eat. And all that have not fins and scales in the seas and in the rivers, of all that move in the waters, and of any living thing which is in the waters, they shall be an abomination unto you. They shall be even an abomination unto you. Ye shall not eat of their flesh, but ye shall have their carcasses in abomination. Whatsoever has no fins nor scales in the water, that shall be an abomination unto you. And these are they which ye shall have an abomination among the fowls. They shall not be eaten. They are an abomination: the eagle, the ossifrage, and the osprey, and the vulture, and the kite after his kind, every raven after his kind, and the owl, and the nighthawk, and the cuckoo, and the hawk after his kind, and the little owl, and the cormorant, and the great owl, and the swan, and the pelican, and the gier eagle, and the stork, and the heron after her kind, and the lapwing, and the bat. All fowls that creep going upon all four shall be an abomination unto you. Yet these may ye eat of every flying creeping thing that goes upon all four, which have legs above their feet, to leap withal upon the earth. Even these of them ye may eat: the locust after his kind, and the bald locust after his kind, and the beetle after his kind, and the grasshopper after his kind. But all other flying creeping things, which have 4 feet, shall be an abomination unto you. And for these ye shall be unclean. Whosoever touches the carcass of them shall be unclean until the evening. And whosoever bears aught of the carcass of them shall wash his clothes, and be unclean until the evening. The carcass of every beast which divides the hoof, and is not cloven-footed, nor chews the cud, are unclean unto you. Every one that touches them shall be unclean. And whatsoever goes upon his paws, among all manner of beasts that go on all fours, those are unclean unto you. Whoso touches their carcass shall be unclean until the evening. And he that bears the carcass of them shall wash his clothes, and be unclean unto the evening. They are unclean unto you. These also shall be unclean unto you. Among the creeping things that creep upon the earth, the weasel, the mouse, and the tortoise, after his kind, and the ferret, and the chameleon, and the lizard, and the snail, and the mole, these are unclean to you among all that creep. Whosoever touches them, when they be dead, shall be unclean until the evening. And upon whatsoever any of them, when they are dead, does fall, it shall be unclean, whether it be any vessel of wood, or raiment, or skin, or sack. Whatsoever vessel it be, wherein any work is done, it must be put into water, and it shall be unclean until the